Hello! This Tarist, hello! Welcome to more Phoenix. The acest of attorneys. Hold on. Yeah. Much better. My headphones were still on. So I had the weirdest delay. I hate it. I hate it! Oh yeah. It is February 24th. It's not though. It's January 24th. This is in a month. In a month, this happens. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope that didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to, Mr. Wright. J'accuse!
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... Oh. I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain in both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. Wow. This is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today we'll present evidence related to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. That's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness to the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir.
So you're telling us that you're a professional killer?
Meekins. Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is...
Sir, I'm what you would call a part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can possibly comprehend.
Mr. Edgeworth, Sir, please help me. Sir.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir.
give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir.
I can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Meekins, please.
But that was not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was almost done. I was for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Murder? Yes.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I have something stuck in my throat. It's annoying. What I need here is more info to work with. What I need here is to press! Pets! Yay! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I'm the charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Yikes. Oh, there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. I was soon sure it wasn't broken during the trial process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. I already read this.
In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here on my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
There it is. Found it. That's the one right there.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh. But the number 4989596, it showed us being used twice. Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir. A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me in charge, turning him on, he looked as surprised as I was.
You're not exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus and struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Ah!
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know, I don't look type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man had his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun around and performed disarming maneuver. Made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. You must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of blood, and then the next thing I knew, he punched me right in my face, sir.
About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious?
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying.
It's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered. That is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the blue badger, sir. I returned to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gunn discovered it delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief.
Delivered?
What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That absolutely, sir. The videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and I was told it had been mistakenly erased. Oh, it's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me.
A video for real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Could you imagine just going to court? And just like watching a murder trial, and then they have a video of the murder just playing in the courtroom? Also, if I remember correctly, people bring children here during murder trials for some reason. That's sus. Which part? Watching an actual murder on video? Or the fact that people bring their children to murder trials? Both is good. I feel the bringing children to murder trials is kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. Instead of everything being like revolving around card games, everything revolves around trials. I want the stupid, edgy sequel to Phoenix Wright, where they collect electricity by condemning people in court or something. Give it to me. Give me a T, where the T's for trial. Do it. I'll play it.
Well, I believe we all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir.
The best part is not only do you know what I'm implying, you also know exactly what I'm referencing. It's perfect. That's so good. The best season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, that's a lie. The best season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is honestly probably Arc V. That one just has all the things. I really like Vrains. I like Is Vrains better than Arc V? I guess Vrains has the better ending, and they are all pretty equal, all things considered. Not sure. Anyway, I think we can all agree that the worst season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Zeal. Let's continue.
Is the blue badger, sir?
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone.
What? No, I held down spacebar, apparently. Anyone know what the fuck he said? Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir.
Fuck Zeal, indeed. I also cannot believe that apparently the entire German localization team just missed the fucking memo on that show. It's called Sechsel in German. The X is not part of the name. It's a stylization in the... It's called Zeal. I don't know why the X is part in the, like, written down name of the show. As well, like, if you buy box sets, it does say that with the X in it. But the X is just a stylization. They talk about the power of Zeal in the show, like, in the Japanese voiceover. You clearly hear the main character say, Zeal, Zeal, which is just an English word. It's just a word. There's no X in it when you pronounce it. Don't ask me why it's there. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Bullshit. But it makes me so angry that apparently the German voiceover just missed the memo on the X being silent and it just being an English word. Wouldn't be the first time, though, that a German voiceover missed the memo on something actually just being an English word. You know the fantastic Ghibli movie Howl's Moving Castle? Exactly. Howl's Moving Castle, the main character is Howl, owner of Moving Castle. Obviously, because Japanese people cannot fucking pronounce anything, his name in Japanese is pronounced Hauru, which is just the katakana transliteration of howl into Japanese. Hauru. Yeah, the German version also didn't get the memo on that one, and they call him Hauru, which is not his name. His name is Howl. Holy fucking shit. And then, like, the minor ones that everyone who's kind of enough into Japanese to know pronunciation knows about, like, pronouncing Sasuke's name with a U, but with a like full U sound, Sasuke. Just, yeah, his name is Sasuke. Anyway. Yeah. But, like, that's also a pronunciation mistake. German did that a lot. We got our act together finally in the past decade or two, but everything before that is just butchered. I'm honestly more happy with them changing names to be easier to pronounce than with them just, like, obliterating the pronunciation. Because they did that a lot too. Like, actually, I guess it's more that the that the American version of the shows changed a lot of character names, and then most of the time we just adopted the English name because it's easier to pronounce for a German child than the Japanese name. Like, the first name of Joey Wheeler in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually Junochi. Which, yeah. Do not expect any child other than a Japanese child to know how to fucking pronounce that. Junochi. The only thing I am actually sad about that it was changed is the fact that Weevil Underwood, the bug type duelist in Yu-Gi-Oh!, is actually called Insector Haga in Japanese. That's a fucking amazing name. Why did we change that? That's an amazing name. The fuck? Weevil Underwood. No, Insector. I mean, I guess the other guy, the dinosaur guy, also is called, like, Dinosaur Hiyosaki or something. But that's not nearly as cool as Insector. So funny. But yeah, couple of name changes in the 4Kids dubs. Oh yeah, we bought a lot of it. I mean, that is how we got anime first, is because 4Kids had it and they were... Yeah, Rex Raptor, that's the guy. His name in Japanese is Dinosaur Ryusaki, which is perfect. The names have always been this stupid, in case anyone was wondering. His face can clearly be clearly seen in the video. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Also, I did thoroughly enjoy this Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk interlude. We should do this more of. Hold it! Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with the knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe it would be classified as the latter.
The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you're the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. And with the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer.
Instead, I'm sure it was him. I bet my bet on it.
But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label it as disturbing or...
Meekins.
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you're positive it was him.
I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is quite questionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
That all sounds true enough, but I keep reading the shit I've already read.
Whoopsies.
But yeah, I should look at this again because I was reading chat way too much. Let's rewatch this. The stupid ass statue. Okay, so that's the locker right there. This thing's standing here. There's no one else. So he's opening this. Random glove falls down. Meekins. Stab. Eat. And then Meekins is on the floor and the victim is, or the perpetrator rather, the person is gone. Wait. Huh? Oh, that's weird. Why does that appear at the end of the video? Was that the outfit? Did someone stash the outfit in that locker? But whose locker is it? We never found that out, did we? About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he tried.
If the man opened the locker, which only responds to the registered fingerprints, then he must be the person who the locker was assigned to.
He said him upon, sir, and this too.
How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from the people in the know, sir.
People in the know.
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face.
Sir, if I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you're the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust this knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless what the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video?
Yes.
Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Yes.
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of.
I have to point at the problem in the video. It's strange?
It's strange.
Maybe. Who am I to judge? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a look and be sure to point at the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's this contradiction?
Ha! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Oh, yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What are you looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
Yeah. Almost walked right into the fence's trap.
The fuck? Wait, huh? But that is... Did I present the wrong thing? Is it like the fact that he's wearing a glove? Or that there's a glove falling?
I need to do my drops. Well, I don't get it.
Ha! But it's falling out of the locker. Like, huh? What the heck? Hello? It's not the falling glove either. It might be the blood on his shoulder, but that would be from the hand, right? Is your idea the blood on his shoulder? Okay. Let's try that. Nope. Yeah, I'm confused too. Let's fast forward to this bitch. Ha. Just presenting this again? Oh. I have no idea. I'm Googling this. I've pointed out 2 things that got different reactions and they were both wrong. Phase 5. I've already pointed at the save as well. So weird. So we are trial former day 3? Ah. Why is it those? Okay, let's see. Let's see why that's the solution for this segment. Oh! That's why. The thing that's strange about the video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As you understand it, the locker appears to work like this. When you grab the handle, the sensor reads your fingerprint, if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that is the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then, something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, now's the light.
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The banger is here! Let's go! The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the grabbed the handle.
Order! Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. The locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect it in front of any malfunction. Oh well. It just goes to show novices should keep the monster. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Was the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor. Something jammed the sensor? Say... There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked.
You know what would fit really well under this? The ice cream music version from, you know? Lethal Company. Is this.
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
That was too early, fuck me. I mean, so was I. I think, so there's two sentences you get from them. It's, either you get like, it's got to be this, and then everyone's incredulous. And then there was a variation that we only saw twice. Once on presenting the glove, and once on presenting the white stuff on the other locker. That was actively objected by Edgeworth because we didn't find a contradiction. I think that was the game telling us, you found a thing, but you're early. Like, you need to keep this in mind. You need to click on this later. Not now, though.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But, sir... It's been my experience that things fall out of white out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll.
We can't be sure. The atom was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck. Well, it was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 or 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir.
But the object would have been too extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. Would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator, but the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
But, sir, the insulator, do you mean...
I think I finally got this figured out. Intense!
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence?
What was the insulator that was stuck inside the locker door? Rubber glove, SO9. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was the victim's locker.
It has the tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamps attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is it not so, Officer Mickens?
Sir, it wouldn't be so, sir.
Order! Order! So we are to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman.
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility of nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
There's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use the ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective used this card.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:15 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due to for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too. Although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and the most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this building rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir. Standard to sound, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir.
Couldn't you just use his right hand for that?
Let's see him out fully.
Is that cutting from your neck one of the ID cards?
Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it there so I won't forget it.
But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out and open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it over my leg. Maybe remember when I said that 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of the car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID that gets stuck instead of the my tie.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with the testimony.
Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be Detective Goodman. According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again.
Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence.
Shh, don't stare at him.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I've nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. Edgy.
Earlier, I believed you testified that when you asked the man to show us ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Did you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to withdraw a knife.
Maybe he's just panicked.
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got.
Wait a moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I meant the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
A lost item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I've only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo! Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room, Officer Meekins, encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, you must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. The victim in this video is a fake. And the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing a finger around. This is going to end well. Well. It seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place. The police department at 5:15 on the day. The police department at 5:15 at the day of the crime.
So?
The real crime could only take place at one location: the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Oh no! I knew the testimony was way too shabby. It's not a trap.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered.
Who exactly was the victim of Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? The trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do we do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that it's unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court were to examine this further. Other witnesses may be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We've not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This might just be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you have testified, what is his or her name?
Damon Gunt. The victim!
On my badge, but I can't present it. No. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let it know anything in that yet, just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony.
Badge!
Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess, while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why did you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, well, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around on duty. I don't know how often you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! Hey! I didn't see that Chief Prosecutor's guy.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh! You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me.
Could I bother you to bring me the SL9's incident files? I'll need them by noon.
Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident.
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
Can't believe you. The Chief Prosecutor, why a witness in this case?
This guy was a witness?
Take it from me! You don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh, what? Oh, what? Now that I've brought your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why? How's your name in here?
What? My name's in here? I don't know.
At least... No, it couldn't be Lana. No, it couldn't be. Lana, this LSL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filled it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark? No, Lana. It's over with. No! Emma, wait!
She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jack Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gund, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to these killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
That was not his voice. Welp! Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping elderly cross intersections when we need. When needed, yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. That's my name. If you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edward described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to papers, partner. What do you mean?
This proudest soul is as bound as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your the testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English.
My job was to keep a wary eye on the Bone Orchard. They say it was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but it ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time at the trial.
I can't say you particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon every cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks and the evidence lockers? Fingerprint activated locks. What kind of newfangled doohickey are those? What kind of newfangled doohickey are those? Where is it? Yes, ha. What is this accent?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders.
Everyone got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright. Here's all yours.
Fuck this accent. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
You just made sure nothing moved to the security camera monitor. That room's so still.
Even time dies in there. It was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. Just do any accent. Any accent except this one. You interred them.
Videos and nothing aren't useful.
When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased within 6 hours.
Jolly good. Each time I'd erased a tape, it felt like it was erasing a part of my life.
This guy's a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. They said it was supposed to make rounds for 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? And you heard a word I said, partner. I told you that ain't my style. That ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado, no gets rule. Let's rules get in the way. Well, desperados I know joined the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime...
Just between you and me, I didn't set a foot in the evidence room that day.
There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I've been in the crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint print locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I could even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that you mention it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that.
Ah!
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
No.
If I remember right, I was at the Streetside Saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so you're out of ammo it's time at the trail.
Boop, 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 boop.
What were you doing in a place like that? Was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongo sepia pasta.
You mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
Not at all desperados eat tacos. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually what Edward says. Did you not want to raise this year? Out of ammo, Officer Marshall.
That's right, partner. Once you call it evidence. If you plan to pin this on me to be this described, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west to the sunset. Huh. One thing seems clear, but despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Yeah.
Badge.
Neil Marshall? Neil Marshall? Must be personal then. Holy shit.
Uh-huh. I don't know. Let's present the locker on this statement. No. I've pressed everything, so it's presenting time, but didn't think so. Just pressing everything again, but I think I got all of these. Maybe? None of these make sense to present on any of this, because none of these really contradict anything. Would be nice to know who 777777 is. Maybe maybe if I present this on here. No.
Oh, seriously, Phoenix? Seriously, Phoenix? He says, I better up the ante before I present my trump card. You're supposed to present the trump card. Fuck you, Phoenix. Fuck you. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that he being called in to testify like this? After all, you went to the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be near. Only wish it were, don't, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene.
The blood is was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall?
For the blood-stained fingerprints?
Whee! I am mad at that intermission line, specifically telling you not to present it. On the part of the trial where you need to present it. Who wrote this? Who of you fucks wrote this? Like, I shouldn't do it yet. I should up the ante first. Fuck you.
Like you said, it's only natural for my fingerprint to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be that same place of the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or did you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness' explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
Yeah.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I like, be anything except actively discouraging the player from using the correct evidence. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. Then one more thing. That lock happened to be mine. What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said.
That's the lock I used when I was detective. The lock I still use. And all that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It would be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. So then, what about that bloody handprint?
Was it mine? It's no mystery. Please explain.
My locker is covered with the fingerprints. It just so happened. The chances of it happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary,
One could argue just the opposite, the chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Go on, think straight, partner. You ain't got no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast and while the other's type of murder.
he's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms will have to do with this. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up reports.
There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. Was found at Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
Huh. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the logical conclusion. You studied to get the picture, partner? Picture. The seal of blood is the desert, and just food the buzzards. There's one reality, and there's this. The security tape. So long as my trade isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Mr. Wright, please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue the testimony
What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime? Is that right, partner?
If so, the video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth, the floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence of the videos that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Yes, I can now that I have pressed everything. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then. Ah, goddammit! Really? Can I rewind past the reset point? Man! It just stop at the end! Who programmed this? You buffoon! You fool! You foolishly foolish fool! You foolishly foolish ways! Present this! Bring your attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake, I'm afraid. You'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are tempers.
They are not short in Texas? What the fuck are you talking about? It is like in the fucking middle of a... The days are very much long in Texas, you fucking idiot. What do you know about Texas? Alright, nothing.
Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
These are the 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Okay.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Hold your horses.
Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So when my locker was opened, that doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Edward is like, bruh. Bruh, seriously? You fucking idiot.
The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. Is that my fault here, but it was mine? Why is everyone staring at me? Like I'm a wanted man. This guy's just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to run your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? Call your bluff.
You say you opened that locker, now prove it! A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
Well, you got one word for you, partner.
No!
Order! Order! Witness, explain yourself. Is this a joke or the worst I've ever heard?
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole, please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can.
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Got him!
Well then, let's hear it.
Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. Was you dressed up like a Detective Goodman? It was dressed... It was you, dressed up as Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his answer.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed to enter the evidence room.
So he must have been carrying it. The answer's simple. He couldn't show it. As you see, Detective Goodman's picture's on this ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner.
We've got a term for that, it's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you've hard evidence proving I'm dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't hear me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well,
Am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
I'm so tired today. Horrible.
Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? To me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he did not originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the scene of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker is to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take another look at the security tape.
Maybe now we get to present the bloodstain. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, or something.
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though don't know what to what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
The bad partner.
The bad partner. Edgy, doing his best.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated you. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Alright. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Was expecting Officer Meekins and knocked him out. And I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. There was way too much blood for such a small donation. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, Connor? Yes, on an incident. 2 years have passed since the case was closed. Was going to completely end with the transfer that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
SO9! No!
When the case is closed, only the case elite detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance, that's why I figured out why it's personal to him. By reading the case file like a good attorney. Why did you disguise yourself as detective? Why did you disguise yourself as Goodman? Why did you make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer? I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card. I stood at the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguised yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker by yourself. But he could just because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck on the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall went there. Boop, boop. He pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say he was a little surprised. I only planned to being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaken a detective for an intruder and demanded to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about this race this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it turned out that way. We mean knocking him out and everything. By the way... Yeah, like, why was the glove there? By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. Oh, so you're not Officer Meekins out end. So you did your research beforehand? Those who got into the desert and prepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours if all gone to plan. Footage would have... if all had gone as planned, enough footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when they came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing that time?
How wow. What are those emotes? Holy shit. Ah. More Lumi emotes.
What else? You were sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind?
The victim showed her the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker?
Actually,
No, we didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
what? Mr. Edgeworth, where's that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country.
Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. But salary cuts are a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. Ugh. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Can't just forget the SO9 incident. You know why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yes, the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
You're only allowed to decide whether or not to answer if the answer could hurt yourself and a relative of yours. No. That only applies if you're under oath. And I think in America, which part of this justice system is based on, you are allowed to remain silent in court. Like, you're not forced to testify unless you are subpoenaed. And I'm not sure he is subpoenaed. And then also this justice system is based on Japanese justice system, which I know absolutely nothing about. So who knows? He can do whatever he wants. And also finally, this justice system isn't real. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved a sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I didn't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know, that's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with this incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think is real reasons. I had a feeling we'd wind up sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take a look at the files. I did! I just wasn't sure what statement to present it on, but it's this one then. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SO9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SO9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago.
He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
You must be talking about King of Prosecutors award. Now remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SR9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell in your hands. But what is his relation to you?
He was my brother.
I knew it!
He was investigating the murders with Damon Gunt, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group detective was part of what worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Yo!
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. It was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. It was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me!
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the day that SR9 case could be reopened. The last day. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, and so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. And things happened by chance. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime.
Thanks for the summary. You're welcome. Game just summarizing itself for my viewers.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in this trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. He seems to be the boys got the draw on your partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. A sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky, and the testimony of Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make a single word or less.
Ah!
I rest my case.
One word. It was AG!
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tape really was fake, but I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived.
This court finds the defendant.
Your Honor, wait!
Emma.
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, Wright? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor?
Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edward, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll leave you there. I'll give you 3.
Edgy! Oh, he's so cute. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SO9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the name of both Sky sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in the Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, it should be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So, did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright. You're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my questions, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor.
If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint in Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
There's no problem. Just convict her. Fuck it.
This handprint left at the crime scene. Clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
I'm done with this shit. Yeah, just fuck it. Honestly, just hand in my bitch. Fucking leave.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. What about that piece of plywood? The blue badge, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger's not here. So what happens when we put him in? This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime.
Ding!
Well,
what?
That's right, so long as the blue badger is dancing here. It would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker.
What? Wow!
Get the job at Walmart a week later. Probably would pay better.
I still do not know how he survives taking a case like once every 2 months. How well do these pay?
So that means... what does it mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces found and I'll be found in the locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put them there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue better to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. That must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue better was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, the police department's evidence room. Blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Maybe he already does work at Walmart in the meantime? Maybe. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown in this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that doesn't explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, what did take place? I demand you to show evidence that proves that it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in an evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present this evidence?
Do we get the cooler theme when I present this? Because we're already in pursuit. Do we get cornered? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh! The ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope. I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777.
Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How would Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. It's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7-7. 7 sevens. Whatever.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP.
Find out whose ID number is 777777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least they're present. What?
Explain yourself, son.
The ID number belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who's a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. That is a couple too many sevens. But that's ridiculous. But just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such an authority. An official charge filed against the executive is accepted. An official charge? You're alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Unit executive. Lana. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her number, and it's not that. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The S09 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need a witness to repeat this question, Chief Prosecutor? I had him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution of this trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant! Just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During the trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order to for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Oh, shit. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos of the courtroom. We would have to wait for the following day. Well, Edgeworth was right when he said he never forged evidence. He doesn't have to do it himself if his superior does it for him because she's panicking. It's kind of mean to not tell him, though. Like, literally all of those rumors were true, but also unfounded to be leveled against him because he didn't do it. Because he had no idea it was all fake. Also, just calling this now because I've been sitting on this for, like, the entire trial. So yeah, he definitely is the actual serial killer, and he pressured Lana into forging evidence to convict fucking this guy. For reasons. And that's also how Neil died, because same way that Goodman died, he just trusted gunned and then was stabbed. Behold. Who slapped him, though? I think it's an accident that happened while Gumshoe was making him. And he just didn't. Badger! Holy shit! Present! Present badge! I'm presenting! I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. A flashback to 5 minutes ago. I didn't know. I never knew what the SO9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings with me. Lana wanted Dark to convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean what happened to you? It's all in there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was a prosecutor, Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. Bidger. Yes. So that means you. Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. That happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time. That's the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once we finished her work. And suddenly this terrifying man came bursting into my office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jack Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall attacked him. Then... What happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? I don't remember the moment when Dark said Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No. I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted the guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. Oh, that wasn't Phoenix. Whoops! So it's true. Even though you may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved with falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that incident. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago.
2 years ago? You must have been 14. That's understandable.
And you looked exactly the same, because they didn't bother drawing her another time for one scene. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Once it was all over,
I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I wanted to become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. I found the evidence to make the Natad case. That way, Lana would have never had to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did you run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective officers are in the investigating room and right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and met chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her.
See this? It's my attorney's badge. Ah, well, I've never seen a real one before.
You're the first one who's actually been interested in mine, believe me.
Its composition is mostly silver. The gold plating is flaking a bit.
She analyzed it scientifically.
There doesn't appear to be any corrosion due to sulfides. I'd give you $50 for it.
Sorry, but it's not for sale. Yet.
Badge! I must present it. Lana.
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we? Why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. Oh, that's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence on such card. It's a taboo, especially when the interests of both parties are involved.
She really means it. Lana. It's my badge, it's not evidence! Girl, chill. She's like, fuck your badge. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all of drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. The witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing.
They still talk about the cases she and Chief Gunn cracked together. Chief Gunn? He was the deputy chief of police back then. But he still worked at crime scenes. Damon Gunn. He was everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was
to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right?
Gunn's help in the SL9 incident was crucial to his resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe we should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was in second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means investigation lead was Damon Gunn, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gunn and I shared the same office at the same investigations. They even had the same office. Oh, that is the sussiest of bakas. Joe Dark didn't run to Lana's office, he ran to Gunn's office. That is weird. Ha! That's sus? I got you now, Gunt. I got you actually in the fucking first second you showed up. We had a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman was, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Edo Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. But he tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first
person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us? Damon Gunn and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gunn and Marshall left their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gunn and myself.
That's very funny.
So you were the first person to run the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gunn and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw their bodies, 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall and the victim, Emma, who had passed out. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her, after all the sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with the memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gunter shared. The office that Mr. Gunn now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kinda quiet around here today. Right. The chief of detectives seems to the same though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later.
Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? Should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy? Must be spectacles. Say, where are you headed?
Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, Barna.
Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
But the prosecutor said west. A prospector said west. If ever there was a case, I needed to know that the truth about it. And was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like we'll be getting into steak lunch today. Something was fishy about the trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match for the wound the victim sustained.
Oh no! How unexpected! Why am I actually shocked by an entirely, expected revelation? I don't know.
Wait, what does it mean? It means there's a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, a possibility had been raised.
Fish!
Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? The case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind.
Got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around.
Nah, Sam, he got the looks too, I'm sorry to say.
He had just made detective when he went down. It was the first case together.
How old was he, your brother?
He was 27 at the time.
Wow, me too! SL9.
He was awarded the highest honor the very day.
The highest honor?
You mean the King of Prosecutors?
I knew it.
What are you looking at me like that for? It's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, it wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer.
Interesting. Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning. By nightfall, it was thunder. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Only someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes of the craze. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in the investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioner would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious.
They? Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gunt at Lana Sky. The investigation leaked Damon Gunt to the second-in-command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person in the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Oh, one of those was Marshall. Damon Gunt. The new chief of police arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left.
Huh?
Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was certainly different when she was a detective.
Now that she mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but the secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. Here's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. The boy Edgeworth is my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave it that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gunt. Don't believe me? Well, I didn't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
Aww. Man. Why this game gotta have feels? I didn't sign up for this.
No one's here today, not even Miss Starr.
Everyone's probably busy looking for what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15.
Yeah, though we were finally making some headway in their case.
But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
Gotta find out the answers by tomorrow.
So, yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. Can I? Apparently not. Sad. I wanted to fingerprint. There's no blood on him. That's good. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. He took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago.
I guess we'll just have to come back later.
Come. Yeah. Criminal affairs.
This place is always pretty empty, but today's deserted.
There must be everyone's busy solving crimes. How are we looking for the others? They're all in the conference room.
Oh, thanks. Wow, he actually talked to me.
Was the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention the statement to the media at tomorrow's trial? There's more case going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Not in the police department, it is in Phoenix. Holy fucking shit.
People are the worst during the holidays. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gunn's office.
This is the connecting hallway to the other building, and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right, you can't go in there. It's off limits.
Now we see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to Chief's office. It's off limits. Let's break in. Let's go. Whoa, where am I? In the Chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out the pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought... I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two! Chief Gunn! He put the paper he was reading on the desk.
So, Righto, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Miss Marshall's misconduct. Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See the big picture over the behind the wall there?
What the fuck? Why is there a broken sword on this version of the trophy but not on the one that Edgeworth has? Was Neil stabbed with the trophy? Is that what happened? What the fuck?
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though.
Chekhov's trophy. No! Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to look up here, so let's get out together.
Oh, but this office was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
At the same time, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me.
I said there's no need to investigate it anymore.
No, hurry and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems the case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gunn denied a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office.
April!
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like these battles are between you and God.
Sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. I falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes. Gumshoe. Do, 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 do. But why would Mr. Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Anna Sky's the guilty party, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor's responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who didn't like him. But now with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him?
in our world, only those with a talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only is that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies.
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir!
Let's go for some lunch again sometime, my treat.
Yes, sir!
Gotta take me back to the joint someone, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir!
It seems they don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. And all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth is a bit crack.
I love the canonical fact that everyone loves Gumshoe.
Actually, took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Dark left behind was during this final attack.
His final attack, you mean?
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
Seems that this Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Let's see. I think it's something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might take his memory.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident. And he killed a lady who saw the second time. A kid walked by just then. She killed him too. And when he was burning the bodies, a jogger came up in the scene. And was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
It seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is our conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of this questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. The crime was witnessed by someone too. But luckily, Doc was arrested at the spot. It's a good thing that the witness wasn't killed.
That last witness. AKA Emma. About this.
Hey, is that...
There's a tag attached to it, with a label, as a non-incident on it. I believe it would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since the case was closed, the knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodwin was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker. I was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Oh, what was it, Detective? Quickly, before you forget again.
This knife was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. It traced back to the store he bought it at. Plus it had the fingerprints on it too.
But don't want it to be witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where it's luck ran out. When you take a good look at this knife, you see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess what the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what it did. What did it mean?
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it. Inside his own body. Was found deep inside the stab wound. It did mention did it mention a Dark's knife? He bet down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? Oh, it's money. You need to, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? That's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if it let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, Bal. But I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? That's Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe's the only chance of getting into his office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would change his mind. Is it this? No. Find it. You look into the case? Yeah. Serial killer. What's the evidence? The card record. Only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone an executive office number. Officer number. 77777777. That's 1 7 too many, Detective. An executive officer. Just what if hunt? Whomstedev. Present everything. Cactus. Note to self. Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Excellent.
I've had the jar. I think I've seen this somewhere before.
Somewhere?
Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives.
This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met.
Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me.
Chief Gant.
I could have seen that before. The locker can be opened without a fingerprint match. Besides, there's no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker.
Hey, wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it, Detective? Shh. If they come to arrest me,
you'll defend me, won't you?
If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with Attourney. Badge! Detective, here's my attorney's badge.
You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show the police badge. Enough said.
I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice. You can do just about anything with these. With the card and the secret number, scary. E.
Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edward got the other day.
Were you the awards ceremony, Little Gunshot?
Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself.
Ah, congratulations. I was wondering why the award is a shield. And why is it broken?
Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Bitch.
Follow Mr. Edward's car.
What did you mean? I mean, sure, of course. I mean, that's what we did it. So, some must have grudge against Mr. Edward.
This guy almost made us lose the case today.
What are you talking about? There's gun in the bloodstain and this evidence dug up with his life. That's more than you can say about most of officers nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. I have to admit he's right though. Thanks to the blue badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. Gumshoe wore a trench coat in high school. That would be cute. We showed me that knife. Fingerprint. Oh no, he sneezed. Well, that was all of them. What a colossal waste of time. Ah. Eddie! I wonder if Edward was back yet. There he is! He looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? You sure was quick to throw that paper in the floor. Just staying caught, huh? Never to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Like some people, I don't have all day. What is that? Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. No, Mary Edgeworth! Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground! Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of You're having trouble reading? I'll read it for you. It says a letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. The path I've walked hasn't been just one. Hasn't been a just one. Can't forgive myself for what I've done. No one else would forgive me either. Oh, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Holy shit. Not Edgeworth! No! There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used the false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to. Nothing I can do erases that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department, the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken. We stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? And Edgeworth can't keep his kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial. Now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that why my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. It may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around the time.
Picture? Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony of the station, right? I never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out of the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes. Just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gond asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes. It was a piece of evidence the case was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story you heard yesterday.
So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right.
This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gunn's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received... looks like it was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Yes.
Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why did you take it? Tell it though, for Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Huh. Wait a minute.
Really? Cornered? On this? On fucking this? Really? Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard the story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it is in our nature to pursue matters to the conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I've learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why are you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gunt. 2 years ago, we had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gunt.
Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star! Because she's out of lunches.
Certainly the curious sort, aren't you?
Kind of like the first person who sucked a crow's nipple to discover...
A cow's nipple! Holy shit! That was... Ha!
I made that even weirder than it was intended to be.
Cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging around up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SR9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence formed that case was. I was due for the trial. Transferal. This can't be attributed to the mere coincidence.
No, nothing.
And you're forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dog, the name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. He must have gone. He must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Sky.
My sister.
The best of the best were put on an SR9 case. Of course, they were led by the legendary duo.
Lana and Chief Gunt.
That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up the investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the flooding of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have any proof that anything illegal was done.
And proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Sky transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon Gunt and Lana Sky. Gunt led the investigation with Lana's second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gunt's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it he's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. Produced is a nice choice of words, yes. Produced as in the means of production were definitely seized by him. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from this shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Mr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gunn's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the Attourney case, his position as chief was secured. And there was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for a change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Mr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Yes, chef!
Holy shit! Gunn murdered Marshall and framed Emma for it. Using Emma to control Lana. That's why Lana is afraid to tell anything. Because he's threatening her with framing Emma for the murder of Marshall. Yep, that's gonna be fucking it. I've played enough of this shit to know what they're doing, and this is evil. Time to prove it in court. Time to fucking prove it in court. Oh, you're back. You're still here. I've got to make up to 50 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, he thinks that means disc jockey.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency. But my hands are still up. I'm not gonna let you into the chief's office, period. Be my neck on the line.
That office at the last crime scene in the SO9 incident. I have to take a look at that.
There's gotta be something we can do to take Attention's mind.
I love his theme. Ahem! I'm so fucking sorry to do this to you. What's this crumpled piece of paper?
No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious!
That would in fact make sense. Yes, wouldn't it? Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusts us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But...
Here, take my ID card.
We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. So secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated.
What?
So at least let me do this for Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
All right, Detective. Thank you. Thank you, Gumshoe. Ah! Here goes, Mr. Wright. You're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out.
Ah!
Yeah!
Did she slap him? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
She did! Fire G! Ah, Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too.
If you hear that, what's the point of giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card!
Just freaking...
I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I've got a bad feeling about this. This is the real deal, isn't it? There's armor in these weapons.
Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the piebog and now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone to this room? What? You mean you're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1% of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay.
Shh, be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief might be hiding this armor as we speak.
I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Spooky! Wow, look at the size of Chief Gun's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier. I wonder what he's been reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence?
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as there's no...
Hey! Look at the case name!
Huh? SR9 incident. I wonder.
Hold on, Detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what...
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long.
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case! Would appear so.
Oh.
Big desk!
The chief's organ shows a sight to behold. You can't really be here and playing in from the Criminal Affairs Department.
It's on the 2nd floor. And this is the 15th floor of an entire different building!
When a detective screws up, the chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours.
What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears.
So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected?
He never listens to anyone anyway.
That's beside the point.
Look at the giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
I know, I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note to self. Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Objection! Hello, welcome to the stream. Very good, very good. As if he would, though. As if Edgeworth would ever talk about his feelings. Very good, very good. Don't say that. These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Woo! Thank you for the follow. I'm Faye. I'm a feathery snake dragon thing. Hi. Yeah. We have a couple of these here. We have by a couple I mean just two. Myself included. Yay. Me just staring at the pronoun extension like, yay. Those are the good pronouns. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to the theme park. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma.
After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gunn to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later.
Gee, you think? This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here?
No, Chief Gunn will still keep it clean in memory of her partnership. That was stuff legends were made of.
Does he keep in memory of her or in memory of the crime? God, this is so sus. Holy shit. Is that everything I need in here? Probably not. Slide? Oh, right, the safe. I purposefully ignored the safe and then forgot about it. Very good. You can see pretty far from 50 stories up. If you were to drop that...
First, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window.
Really? Why didn't he?
I say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view.
Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe? The word is ripe with intrigue. With intrigue.
Oh, okay, if you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. A 7-digit number. You just might know what it is.
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. I want to try it on my birthday. It's...
I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. That motherfucker! Bingo. What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was it? Or was that, pal?
Birthdays only have 6... 7777777. The final ID card number on the record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean...
That's a couple too many sevens again, I'm sorry. 7777777. That ID number? I think you're on 17 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gun's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look outside?
Let's go be at the side of the room. Is that your sisters?
Yes, that's why I was waiting for Lana. On the day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now? No, sir. It's entirely Chief Gun's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it here. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at the news party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches the desk.
No one except Chief Gunn and the cleaning lady who's in charge, who's here tomorrow.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
He only came in to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's the only reason for coming here, isn't it?
What do you ask?
You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be, no. No, that's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it.
Okay, now then. Let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy.
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to be a stop bothering you, pal. Just don't let it go, just don't let it go with that.
Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gunn may be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
Chief Gunn.
Let's finally come to this.
It's the murderer.
Perhaps it's best don't divulge my feelings yet.
There you go, ignore me again. Is there any money in there? How much has he stashed away?
Look, it's a shot from a broken cup. Someone looks familiar. I've never seen this before. There's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? It is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
No, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? Is that all of us in the safe? In the safe? Words are hard. Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it. A broken shot from a cup.
They look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove that they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck of the line here.
Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. Detective Kamshik, could you have a look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put it back together. Oh, those were the days.
It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from the case?
That's right. One of the charts have an SL9 incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know the fragment we just found?
You mean this one? That was the safe.
Yeah, that one. That wasn't the safe.
Now that you mention it, it rings a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Ding! Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Right, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If we can piece this together again. Proof Chief Gunn was knowingly hiding evidence. He goes. Oh no, how will I ever? Ding! There, it fits like a charm. That of course means Chief Gunn willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in a safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SR9 incident. But...
Hey guys, get a load of this!
what is it?
This piece it was attached. It's different from the others.
There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line?
That's blood. I don't get it. Oh, but Chief can't hide this. It's in a safe.
The system now send information fooling. Slide? Court record. Lumino. Ha! I knew it! Wow, this area must have been covered in blood. Is this from that incident? It must be. When Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. 2 years have passed, so the reaction's kind of dull. So murder really did take place here. Okay. Present! Knife. How could it have possibly got to Mr. Edgeworth's car? Called a scarf or a muffler? Answer me that, pal! We better know that just complete, but it's only a question. What was the piece of doing in Chief's place? Wasn't there any money in there? Is that what saves it for? Huh. Just go presenting everything. Wee. Lumino. Ah, yes. Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. Seven. It's not your fingerprints you want to take. We're talking about the cloth we found at the safe. Oh, this was the correct one. Whoops! I shouldn't have skipped all that.
Oh, but I knew that. It was another fan trick on it, right? She was her sense of humor.
Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then once they've been absorbed into the print, throw the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Bing! Get it nice and sprinkled. Nice and white. Give it the best shot. Try a different finger. Okay. Tip tip. Aha! That's the bitch. Nice and white. No, how can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clean enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought that'd be Dark's prints. Psst, hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me! Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Yeah, maybe you should hold it under this. Yeah, that's sus. Well, was that help? Of course. Thanks to your D card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the code? Ah!
Chief Guard!
We didn't think he'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out to window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective.
Do you mean me, sir?
Now then. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. I want you in the coat.
Me, sir?
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
But, sir...
Now get out.
Yes, sir.
We'll be on our way too, then. Wait. You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not licensed. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright! Not evil.
Look, pal. If I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gunt was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why is she kept eerily silent about this all this time?
Anyway, you listen to me. I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal.
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the Chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it in tomorrow's final day. In court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing, not a single useful thing. Really, I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Yeah, she said she stabbed Detective Goodman. Not she killed Detective Goodman. Difference. You can stab a corpse. You can only murder a person once. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term you used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little bit vexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's what hit me. When it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. You think I'm protecting this person. Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. Take that! Well, Miss Sky. Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it you're still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he's respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gunt's name was never mentioned? Chief Gunt? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of the investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gunt. If you intend to accuse Chief Gunt, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gunt falsified evidence in that case. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gunt himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that is more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes. You were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. The serial killer John Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage in your right hand. Yes. It seems that I got blood in the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A star, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent it by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what happened, and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. But explain why Emma's so confident. About Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them today. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would he call him? The lead investigator for the SR9 incident had been murdered. I wanted the fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. This music is way too good. It's illegal. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card. But it seems he hadn't still made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright. Both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Bam 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 bing. Anyway, not today. That will be stream for today. Thank you everyone for watching. I will just go ahead and title screen. Yes. So we get this music. The cliff got hanged. Yeah. The trial will probably take another 2 hours, and I just don't have that kind of time. I work a full-time job. I need to wake up in the morning. But yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you've had a good time. And I will see you on Friday. Let's see. Let me just go to the end card, as they call it on the YouTubes. Is anyone live that I want to raid? Not particularly. No. Alright. Then I'll just try to stream. Thank you for joining me. And sleep well. Bye-bye. And also thank you Strap Streams for the follow.